In this seventh video of the Appreciation series, we will examine the idea of form in music. In other words, think of form as simply being the structure of music or the way that a song is put together. When describing the form, there are various musical terms that we would use when describing the various sections. Some of these words may be familiar to you, as is the case with the first one, which is a verse. Verse is the part of the song that tells the story, so it is very common for us to see the lyrics change when a verse is being sung and performed, just like we would if we were listening to poetry. On the opposite side is the part known as the chorus. Here is the part that does not change. Instead, we hear the chorus repeated throughout the entire song. Generally, the chorus is like the summary or main idea of a song. There may also be instances when we hear something that happens between the verse and the chorus. This part is known as the bridge, and its job is to link the two parts together. Sometimes the bridge may have lyrics, other times it might just be instruments. If, however, we're just hearing a single instrument, that section, of course, would be known as a solo. It is also possible for us sometimes to have the starting or ending of a song as its own section, and we would call those intros or outros, respectively. To know when we change to a different part of a song, all we have to do is keep in mind the three main principles of form. The first principle, of course, is repetition. If we hear the same thing over and over again, we would use the same letter to represent that section once more. Repetition is great, but if it's overdone, it may become a little jarring to the listener. For that reason, we also want to make sure that we have at least some contrast. Contrast provides the variety and conflict that drives a song, and it satisfies our need for something new and something exciting. Every time we hear something new in a song, we would use the next letter of the musical alphabet to represent that. Most pop songs probably have only up to the letter D. We don't really see many different sections in popular music like we would with classical music. It is also possible for us to have what's known as a variation. In the variation, we have something that sounds familiar but not necessarily identical. In this case, we would use a prime numbering system to show the difference yet similarity. Here we see a picture of some very common examples of form that is used both in popular and classical music. The simplest form is binary form, which is a song that is consisting of only two parts, A and B. Similar to binary form is ternary form, which is still just only two letters, A and B, but now we have a return at the end of it. A perfect example of a song in ternary form would be Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Rondo form takes it a step further by having a C section. Here, the form is now A-B-A-C-A, and this is only a shortened version of rondo form. Should it continue, it would always go back to the original principal idea, letter A, after introducing a new musical idea. So rondo form could go A, B, A, C, A, D, A, E, A, F, A, G, etc. With that idea of variation, we see our fourth and final type of form here, theme and variation. Here, the form would be A prime, A second prime, and A third prime. So we have the same idea, but with some slight modifications made to it. In our next video, we will learn about the idea of texture in music.